This 1,201 piece set depicts the scene from the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring where Gandalf defiantly stands up against the Balrog on the bridge of Khazad-dûr. Now this is a pretty iconic scene in nerd cinema, but also in just cinema in general, so you would expect that a Lego set depicting this scene would be pretty epic. Now keeping all of that in mind, let's take a closer look at this set. Now the Balrog book nook is part of a new thing that Lego is trying out this year, where they're creating sets that are meant to be displayed within your bookshelf, but also they can be displayed open as well. Included in the box is the instruction booklet, which offers some information about Lord of the Rings as well as a little note from the designers. And throughout the instructions, you can actually see little quotes from the movies. It's actually pretty clever, and I really love when Lego does stuff like that. Additionally, the set does come with some wings for the Balrog, which are similar to the Fell Beast. This set comes with one minifigure, which is Gandalf the Grey, and he comes with his staff as well as a sword. He does come detailed with torso and robe printing, but don't get too excited about this one, because if you're thinking this looks familiar, this is actually the same torso and robe printing from the Gandalf included in the Shire set. Even down to the face printing as well as the beard, everything is pretty much the same, so you do not get an exclusive minifigure with this set. Now we can take a look at the build itself. Now this is what it looks like fully open, and in my opinion, this is where the build probably shines the most. And it can also be folded up into a book nook and displayed between your books, but I don't know if I built it wrong, it just didn't feel like it closed all the way. It does have these little flame details on the sides, but other than that, it's a pretty empty shell of what should be a very grandiose scene. Now, the most impressive part of this set is, of course, the Balrog, and I think that this looks really good, and I think people will be really happy with it. The eyes are, of course, printed, and it does have a ton of articulation, especially in the jaw and the head, even down to the shoulders and arms move and the claws. In his other hand, he has this kind of bar thing that hooks into the fire whip, which I thought was really clever. And of course, we have a recolor of the Wolverine claw, which is really cool. Now, the wings are fully printed on this flexible material. Like I mentioned before, this is the same material from the Fell Beast GWP. He does have movement, of course, in his legs as well as his thighs. And from the back, you can really see the full wingspan, which is really impressive. And everything just kind of hooks into the build via these Technic parts attached to the back. And it kind of allows everything to just fold in once you display it in book nook form. Additionally, there's a printed plaque for "You shall not pass," a famous quote from the movie.
You shall not pass!
And that's pretty much the entire set, which makes it really hard for me to justify buying this set at the $130 price point. It just feels a bit too high for what you're getting. Especially when you take a look at the Sherlock Holmes set, which is releasing side by side this one on June 1st, and it is just filled with so many details and Easter eggs and tons of minifigures, and it feels complete, while this one just feels a little bit empty. And I feel like Tolkien just deserves a better treatment than this if this is the only Lord of the Rings book nook that we're ever gonna get. I also don't want to fault the designers for this. I really feel like it is beautifully designed if it was at a different price point. If it was just a $60 set, this would be perfectly designed and perfect value. Or if it was just the Balrog itself, it would be amazing, and I think fans would have just loved a Balrog itself instead of a book nook. Leave me a comment below, because I would love to hear your thoughts and whether or not you agree, or if you think that this is the perfect value and you're planning on picking this up. This set does release on June 1st, 2025, and I will see you guys for the next video.